Hello, I hope you are doing great and having good health. Let's study about the differences between bones and cartilage in this video. So previously I have uploaded two basic videos on human skeletal system. Based on the first one is about the skeletal system in general. I explained about appendicular skeletal system and axial skeletal system, including the names of bones like 206 bones in our body. I have explained it. And in the second video we studied about a little bit a description about bones and cartilage. Now in this video I was thinking to give you a summary about the differences between bones and cartilage, because this question is very common in your exam paper. You might see these questions a lot of times when you solve the test paper. Usually student of SSC and HSC and O-level and A-level, whatever you are studying about skeletal system, I think a summarization is required regarding the difference between bones and cartilage. So if you see very closely that what are the differences actually, I have written some basic common things which is actually, I hope you know it, and some of you may write up to 15 or 20 differences between bones and cartilage, but it's totally depending on the numbers, because this is simply targeting on the questions paper. Because if the questions are write down the differences between bones and cartilage, marks is 2 or 3. Now you see that how much traits you can move on. So very simply I have written some very common basic traits. Based on that we will study about the differences between bones and cartilage. Now think about first nature. What is the nature of bone? We must say this is tough, hard, vascular and porous. So very simply we can say the four things. This is bones nature, which is very hard. We know that bones are very hard and tough as because its matrix is very hard. So very simply, and in the generalized terms, we can say that bones are hard, tough, vascular and porous. I hope you know the meaning of vascular. It means it has a blood supply inside, because you know that bones actually possesses a Volkmann's canal and Haversian system, which is including blood circulations inside, and that is why the bones are vascular. And also it has some hollow in pores inside, and that is why it's called porous. So simply, in case of four terms, we can say regarding the traits, the nature of bones, that is tough, that is hard, vascular and porous. In case of cartilage, we'll just say the opposite. This is flexible, soft, avascular and non-porous, because this is very different. Porous and non-porous, it has some pores inside, but cartilage, they are non-porous. They do not have any vascular system. Okay, number 2 is matrix, because all these things happening due to the matrix. So matrix composed of ossein. I hope you know about ossein. That is the matrix which is a very important thing. Mucopolysaccharide was there. So ossein is the component of bones matrix, and in case of cartilage this is chondrine. So in case of bones this is ossein, and in case of cartilage this is chondrine. So think simply the composition of matrix in case of bones, ossein and chondrine. The nature of matrix, very simply, which is common to these, the tough and inflexible. We know that the bones are very strong, so it cannot bend. So this is inflexible. But cartilage, they're actually soft and flexible, and that is why they're firm but flexible. So as it is firm, it can bend, but the bones, it cannot bend, as because this is tough and hard. Cells, important. The bone cells are actually osteocyte, osteoblast, osteoclast, but in case of cartilage it would be chondrocyte and chondroblast. So when you say about bones, it would be osteo. Osteocytes mean cells. So osteocytes, blast and clast. In case of bones, it would be osteoblast and clast, but in case of cartilage, it would be chondrocyte and chondroblast. So if this is the cells, what about the layers and covering? In case of layers, bones layers known as of like periosteum. Peri means the surrounding side, outer side. So periosteum is the coverings of bone and perichondrium is the covering of cartilage. Nerve supply, very important. Nerve supply and Haversian system. As we said earlier, that bones is actually vascular. So in case of nerve supply and Haversian system, both is present in bones. So bones are actually, it has nerve supply, it has Haversian system, it has a Volkmann's canal, but in case of cartilage, all are absent. So the cartilage are avascular, it has no blood supply, it has no Haversian system, it has no Volkmann's canal. So growth pattern, the growth pattern in case of bones are bidirectional. It means it moves both sides, it grows in both sides, upwards and downwards. So bidirectional, it means bidirectional. The growth pattern of bones is bidirectional, but in case of cartilage, this is unidirectional. So it moves in a single direction. Metabolic rate, the metabolic process of bone cells are very high in comparison to the cartilage cells, that is chondrocyte and chondroblast. So as the metabolic rate of the cells of bones is so high, so oxygen demand of these cells also high. And of course, inside bones there is bone marrow, which is actually working as a the production house of blood cells, and also it stores the minerals. So bone marrow, which is present in case of bones, but there is not such things in case of cartilage. So simply there are a lot of other differences between bones and cartilage, but I have written very simple. And lastly, the function. So what is the function of bones? Simply we can say that bones, mainly it has a protective part. It protects our soft organs, it gives us the shape, it actually provides the movement, and also the blood supplies. I mean it stores the minerals and also produce the blood cells like RBC, red blood cells. So very simply, if we say the functions, that is protections, movement, shape, it gives us the shape, animal body shape, produces the blood cells and stores minerals. And in case of cartilage, it is actually situated in between the bones. So it gives the flexibility and also it reduces the frictions between the bone joints, and also very simply it acts as a shock absorber. Every single moment, if you think closely that what is going on in our joint, as because cartilage gives that softness to reduce these frictions. So simply we say that reduce friction, shock absorber, provides flexibility is the main function of cartilage. So if you see very simply the differences between, you might think about the traits. If you understand well about the bones and cartilage, writing these differences is nothing serious. You can write it very simply, and I have made this video only for students, those who are actually searching very specifically the difference between bones and cartilage. This is for them. So now you see very simply again as a revision. Nature, in case of bone, tough, hard, vascular and porous. In cartilage, soft, flexible, avascular, non-porous. The matrix is osseous, matrix is chondrine. As this is tough and flexible, this is firm but flexible. In case of cells, you just remember the name, that is osteocyte, osteoblast, osteoclast, all about osteo. And this is chondro, so you say chondrocytes and chondroblast. Think about the layers, periosteum, perichondrium. Nerve supply, Haversian system, Volkmann's canal, all are present in bones, all are absent in cartilage. The growth pattern of bone is bidirectional in both sides, but it is unidirectional. Simply in case of function, you can remember the differences between the functions of bones and cartilage. So I hope you will be able to memorize things clearly and understand the things perfectly and can write the answers accurately in an answer sheet. So take care. See you on the next tutorial. Thank you.